So we are going to a very small crag with one legendary boulder from Martin Stráník. It was his very first 8B he has ever done. It's his first ascent. And since 2008, it has never really been repeated. And I think it was the time when Martin, he's always been really strong, but especially in those years, he was completely underestimating his strengths. So he graded it 8B after quite a few days of work, and it is definitely expected it to be much harder. Even Martin himself, he tried it a few years ago and he found it hard, so we'll check it out. It's pretty proud line. It's called Konec Světa, the end of the world, and I think even like quality wise it looks like a really good climbing. I was quite curious about this 8A plus route, which is also a first ascent by Martin Stráník, and I was quite curious whether he completely sandbagged it or not. When I was getting into this tiny crimp, I thought like, wow, this feels impossible. So I downclimbed a bit back to the ledge, but then I decided to grab like a more right-hand side of this crimp where there was just really tiny thing. I think it's maybe 5mm crimp. It's quite in-cut, so it probably feels like a bit better than 5mm thing on a board. You go into a jug, but you are not really sure if it's a jug or not. So it worked out, and yeah, it's I'm quite happy about it.
A je to! Krasa, dobře. Ale nakonec tady vpravo to bylo lepší, no.
Přímě jsem měl velký strach, že to Onsight nebude. V tom prvním nálezu. But the main goal of today is still waiting. It was raining right now when I was climbing, so I think the higher edge is completely soaked, but hopefully it will stop raining and we will be able to dry it up and try the end of the world.
For me, this boulder is quite history because I tried it and sent it some 15 years ago. Even on first session, I was quite close to reach the edge of the roof, but another 5-6 sessions, it was almost the same. I was just touching the edge of the roof, but I couldn't send it. The boulder consists of easy intro. Then you get into quite bad side pull in the middle of the roof, and you have to do 3 really hard, powerful moves to get to the edge. And for me it was by far the hardest boulder at this time. I sent just some 8A pluses, so I graded just like 8B because it was a logical step for me. But after some 10 years later, I come with my brother to try it again, to repeat the boulder just for training. But I found, wow, it's hard. I couldn't do the moves. So maybe it's not just 8B, it's maybe 8B plus, maybe 8C.
Já jsem zhodnotil, že ta verze doleva je nebo ta originální, je natolik těžká, že na to vůbec jako nemám sílu. Já jsem ani nedolez vlastně do 2 chytů, které jsou v převise. A pak jsme se tady vrátili asi před 2 rokama a zjistili jsme, že vlastně se dá skočit z těch 2 chytů na hranu doprava a že tak to tvoří smysluplný 2 linie.
I think it's worth it. I think it's a really cool block. It's proud. It's tall. The funny thing is that Martin actually back then he did it with 1 pad. Can you imagine? Right now we are here with 6 modern pads. And you feel like, you know, if we had 2 more, it would be kind of nice. And he would arrive with 2 really small pads. 1 he would just place right underneath the crux, and the other one he wouldn't even use. He just left it aside, and I think he would just put his backpack with a snack on the top of it.
For this boulder I used just 2 crash pads, one for my climbing stuff and second for the boulder. And I remember that sometimes I was falling next to the crash pad, just on the ground. But you know, I was young and that was okay.
Paráda, udělal to krásně, no. Pustý síla jako prase, no. Hodně dobře.
So I think I'm more known for downgrading things, but in this case I think I will go for an upgrade. I hope I'm just not getting old.